Hello, real fans. Before the video starts, I just want to point out of why I haven't been posting any more videos. It's ever since I really eased the video of me catching the America 250 unit. It's because after this was during the time of recording. It was during spring break. And after spring break, I couldn't be able to go railfanning as much. Was because I had to was locked in on doing schoolwork. Had to get all that done. I just wanted to get school done because it was my higher priority than railfanning at the time. But now we're in summer break now, so we will have more time to be able to go out and railfanning. And also a lot of other things have been happening through my personal life. I've been going through a lot lately. I won't say why, because those all of my personal because it's all my personal thoughts, and I won't. And I have reasons why not to say them. Hopefully you guys understand. I'll be able to hopefully be able to railfan more this summer. And just want you guys to have a little understanding. So yeah. And also I'm still working on like editing. I'm still working on editing videos, and editing videos does take a long process to do that. So yeah. Well, you guys understand. And also, once again, please like and subscribe. Click the notification button to see more, to get notified for more railfanning train content, and enjoy the video. Hello, it's me again. Yes, I'm doing a voiceover in this video, since this video is like almost an hour long, so you guys don't get bored of this. Anyways, what we just first caught, but on the last locomotive on the consist on this CPKC grain train that we just barely caught, by the way, was the Katy Heritage Unit, the Union Pacific 1988. So, representing the Missouri Texas Railroad, or the MPT, or the Katy. Yeah, in the background you just heard someone saying the Heritage Unit, the Katy. That was a railfan that was asking me if I did catch the Katy Heritage Unit, which yes, I did. Just wanted to let the reminder back that this video was recorded. These clips that I'm be showing you were recorded in 2 different days. The first 4 clips of this video, well, not the intro video. These first 4 clips of this video were taken on June 7th, and then the next few clips was taken on June 17th. Just to make it clear. Yeah, I barely just caught this CPKC grain train, and yeah, the consist is just mostly just grain cars and all that, with the locals being nothing but special except the Katy Heritage Unit, which I was very lucky to catch, because that's the first time I caught the Heritage Unit. Besides catching the America 250 unit, this was the actual first time catching a full-on Heritage Unit. So if you're wondering why there's no intro, I didn't do an intro of this long behemoth video, was because I didn't know what to do in the intro. So I'm going to be figuring out what intro to use for my channel pretty soon. But for right now, we're just going to be doing no intro. It's just introduction straight into the video. So yeah. But we'll still do my. Yes, I did do my introduction on the end of this clip. So yeah, you can just hear it if you want. Welcome back, rail fans. We're back here in the CPKC Heavener sub, and just see, we just barely caught this grain train, which had the Katy Heritage Unit UP 1988. This is first time of me catching a UP Heritage Unit on the CPKC Heavener sub. Hopefully we'll be able to see more trains coming in southbound. Anyways, we'll see you later. The next clip I caught was a CPKC tanker train, which had two CPKC, freshly painted CPKC ET44s, one leading and one trailing in the rear. Then the next clip was a CPKC manifest train, which was coming up slowly up through the Decatur Hill. I started recording early because I heard the tracks were making noises, so that's why I started to record early, which you'll see here pretty soon. On this train, it was just standard CPKC motive power with a freshly painted CPKC ET44 trailing third. besides the first clip of this video, the first four clips of this video of me catching these trains, I came along with my dad and grandpa since I wanted to go out railfanning, since it was a cloudy day but not a rainy day. So I just want to point that out as well. When we get to the next few clips, I went railfanning with my family on the next few clips. Just wanted to point that out. And over here on this next scene, which pretty soon you will see, is a mid-DPU, which was a locomotive that is in the middle of the consist, also powered, which is used via radio control from the engineer from the locomotive. But you can hear this locomotive working hard as well. Next up, we have once again another CPKC grain train, but this time we had an KCS leader this time, and with the engineer giving us a friendly horn show along as well. Apparently that train started slowing down. I don't know why, but I guess that'll be it for our railfanning adventure for today. So I'll see you guys later. Nope, this is not the end of the video just yet. This was from June 17th when I was recording with my family. This time we got a CPKC empty coal train with a BNSF leader with a very loud K5 LLA, and this train was hauling. Next up was the CPKC manifest train with a KCS ES44 leading with a K5LA, alongside with some recently painted CPKC ET44s. I would like to mention is that I will be talking, since I am also doing voiceover to talk over on the videos, just to do more like make the video more entertaining. Also, we'll be talking through in the recordings as well, just to clear that out so you don't get confused. Wondering why was the empty coal train and this manifest is going so slow on when it passed by was because reason why was because there's a passing track just a few minutes north out of Decatur, which is called Dorsey, which is near at Wolf Creek. And apparently, I think there was another train waiting at Dorsey passing track, which I think they the trains had to slow down because they had a yellow signal, which meant approach, which means do not exceed medium speed, which is basically like 30 miles an hour or less. Just want to clear, just so we want to say that so I can just clear that out. guys, I know this is the haven't talked yet, but apparently we got a northbound coming but apparently there's a red signal because a northbound just came through here. If there's actually a northbound coming, it's going to have to stop, be cut out because because the signal's still red. Or if I'm lucky, it might go on approach. Who knows? Yeah. I'll be back once it gets closer. Well, apparently I lied. The signal was still red and the train was coming in slowly around the corner, apparently. I guess the dispatcher gave permission in for this CPKC train to go on restricted speed, which is 15 miles an hour or less, apparently. But yeah. On this next train was a CPKC grain train, which had nothing special, with all the locomotives being from Canadian Pacific. But yeah, it was coming in slowly, and this is probably going to be the longest clip, so since while this train is passing by, I will be talking over voiceover just to entertain you guys more. But yeah. Also, forgot to mention that the engineer also gave us a bit of a horn show at the end of the rail crossing sequence. Yeah. Anyways, since this train is passing by and is going to be probably the longest clip on this out of this whole entire video,
here's what will tell you might be confused of. Like, if I keep calling the train CPKC, but why do some locomotives have CPKC and some of them have different paint jobs? Like case that says KCS or Canadian Pacific. Well, here's a little bit of history. This line, which apparently I've been calling it wrong, it's actually called the Heavener subdivision. The Heavener subdivision was previously owned by the Kansas City Southern Railroad, which ran on this ever since its formation. Apparently, in 2023, which was like 3 years ago at this point, the Canadian Pacific wanted to merge with the Kansas City Southern to become like, I don't know for reasons why. I need to look in more for the reasons why Canadian Pacific wanted to merge with the Kansas City Southern. Something I should look in more. Well, they merged in 2000, I believe it was in the spring of 2023, which was not too long ago, like 3 years ago at this point. And when they merged, they combined their railroads. Apparently, their railroad goes all the way down from Mexico, all the way up north to Canada. The corporation, since they needed like a new identity, they purchased new locomotives from General Electric, being the ET44s, and having them painted in the CPKC paint scheme. Earlier this year, the railroad announced they'll be ordering new locomotives from Electric Motive Diesel because they need more motive power, apparently, because I don't know, because they need more motive power, because running more trains, of course. Most of the locomotive roster from Canadian Pacific and Kansas City Southern are still wearing its original colors, hence why you still see Canadian CP and KCS locomotives still wearing the original colors, even though the railroad merged in 2023. Just something I want to point out, because some of my viewers will be confused why I keep calling the train CPKC, even though some of the locomotives that you've been seeing on these trains were not CPKC and were from Canadian Pacific or Kansas City Southern. Something just so I can point out of as well. Also, just as something to point out for one of my viewers of how long did this clip take for this whole train to pass through the camera? Well, apparently this clip took 18 minutes, almost 20 minutes to pass by. And the train didn't pass by completely, but because the train stopped, and with the last car of the train just stopping just a few inches on the railroad crossing, blocking traffic. which you will see in the next few clips. At this point, the train was going on walking speed at this point, because apparently it just kept going, just getting slower and slower as they passed by more and more of the, which I was so confused, because maybe because they were still on the restricted speed and they haven't gotten a yellow signal, which meant they haven't got clearance to go up to medium speed, which is once again, and medium speed is basically a 30 miles an hour or less. And apparently on this section of track, the speed limit on this section of track was between 35 to 40 miles an hour, which is surprisingly, because you can't tell the difference if the train is going between 40 or 30 miles an hour. And apparently, I guess the train the air brakes were on, and apparently one of these cars was squealing, which I don't know why it was squealing. Probably the bearings, or probably, I'm not sure if it was the bearings or the brakes that needed to look on. That car was definitely squealing. I'm not sure reason why. Maybe because this train was going so slow. I don't know. But it was probably because the brake shoes were probably on that freight car. Who really knows? I'm not really much of an expert, but only experts can tell. If someone knows the reason why, can you just put it down in the comments below. if some of my viewers, if you guys are still here watching the video, I really appreciate it, because I've been trying to make my videos more entertaining for you guys to watch. I'll be doing more commentary videos on my during railfanning. Well, on voiceover, not over recording, but yeah, I've been wanting so I can at least be my videos can be more entertaining. At this point, the stream was going on at a crawl or at a walking speed, and the train doesn't even go fully by the camera because what you see pretty soon, the train is just gonna stop with the last car still being in the shot and just blocking the road crossing just by a few feet. And that loud beeping that you hear, and that red thing that's on the end of that freight car, for some of my viewers who might be confused, is called an EOT, or end of train device, or sometimes it's also called a FRED. Apparently this little device was the thing that replaced cabooses. Since cabooses were more expensive to handle and end of train devices, which is this thing with the thing that's flashing red on the back of the freight car, it was more cheaper than just handling a caboose. And yeah, that's just so I can point that out. At this point, the train was going slower and slower, and then comes to a stop, which I don't know why. Well, yeah, the only way I can tell if I had a scanner on me, which I don't have one because currently I don't own one yet. I've been wanting to get a scanner so I can be able to see what's going on over the road channel, but that's going to be not until a little later. But yeah, the train just goes slower and slower, and then just goes into a standstill. Which in the next clip I will be coming on closer to the railroad crossing to explain what's going on. But yeah, hopefully I get a scanner pretty soon, which they don't cost that much, but they are expensive though. But yeah. So be able to figure out what's going on over the road channel when on situations, to see what's going on these situations like this. Well, the whole train just passed by at this point, so I'm just going to end the video there. So I'll see you guys later. Well, hello, welcome back. Train has become on a complete standstill. Huh? Apparently someone, which was in the cars, was saying that, telling me if I should tell the crew to move the train, which I can't do because I can't interfere, plus I know I have a scanner. This is gonna take. So yeah, that's nothing I can do. Yeah, the train just went to a complete standstill, just a car just blocking the main road. There's nothing that I'm supposed to do, just watch and see what happens. And apparently you're not supposed to interfere with the crew. There are scanners that do have two-way talk buttons, but most scanners only have one-way talk, which is just basically the crew over the radio. I mean, we can probably go check it out. I mean, why not? Alright, I'll see you guys later. I'll give you an update. Alright, we got an update. We got trains moving slowly. As I was saying, it's illegal to talk over a radio interfering train traffic control, because if you do own a two-way talk scanner radio, do not try talking into the radio interfering train traffic control. you're gonna see what happens, because I've already seen it happen before, because I watched the video of it, what happens if you do, and it is not a great thing. If just get a normal scanner if you're just going to go out railfanning, because there's no need. Plus, it's just something stupid to do. Plus you can get big trouble for interfering over train traffic if you talk over train traffic control. Just get yourself a normal rate scanner and you'll be fine. If you guys made it far into this video, I appreciate that, because it's been a while I've done one of these. I'll be going to Kansas City to Railfan pretty soon if I can. And hopefully you guys enjoy, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.